The Mindbuzz podcast.
Predatory loans, right? That's just a type of predatory loans. They take advantage of. I went over it because our community there's so much of the Latin American community that uses payday loans because they don't have credit, and because these payday loans they'll give you money, straightforward, and then take it from like your check or and they'll charge interest, and if you don't pay them back, oftentimes they're predatory loans because in the fine print it's usually like if you don't pay them back within like a week, they'll charge you like up to like 300% like interest, which is insane. And a lot of times we don't know that, like our community doesn't know that, and they'll be paying so much money. All of a sudden now they're in this financial, like, like a debt hole, and they have from just borrowing like $100, and now they owe like $1,000. So it's just insane.
Have you ever took one of these out?
No, I haven't. No.
It sucks.
Have you taken one out before?
Hundreds.
Oh no.
Hundreds.
Oh, so firsthand, right?
Firsthand, dude. Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember I had to close out.
It's a debt trap.
It is, because I had to close out. I had to close out a whole bank because I couldn't afford to.
Wow.
At that time, I think I had like 2 bank accounts. One was Look at how crazy this was. One was specifically for payday loans, because I knew some weeks I wouldn't be able to pay them on time.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And to give a little bit of background too, it came down from generations, because my guardians that I used to live with, they used to take these out too. So when I started doing this, I'm like, oh well, this is nothing out of the ordinary for my family. This is, I mean, my parents did it or my guardians didn't, so, I'm going to give it a try. So I didn't know the impact, back then. But like you said, it's predatory.
They're literally loan sharks that are legally allowed to operate. That's what they are. And what motivated even more to do a whole episode and bring awareness to it too is that they were declared, like, they were debating that they were an essential business during the pandemic.
Really?
And they were allowed to operate. So now they're just taking advantage of that. And isn't that ridiculous? Like, you got people that losing their jobs because of the pandemic, and they might not have a choice but to go with these payday loans that they might not know will charge you such high interest rates and screw you over. So it's ridiculous. And the consumer, there's, in the government, if you want to get to that part, it's like there's the CFPB, which is Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. They're supposed to take care of the people and look out for, like, the consumer, right? But there was it wasn't, they didn't shut them down or anything. They didn't make them bring down their interest rates or anything like that. They allowed them to operate. So it's just insane.
So they were allowed to operate fully at the same rates that they were going generally when the economy was booming.
Yeah. All they did was all the CFPB did, what they created a website and blogs that it was literally just like reading material on how to avoid like potential scams related to viruses and like debt collection activities. So like that's all they did. They didn't take leadership roles and shield the consumers as they should, which is their job.
What okay, you mentioned what is it called?
Yes, CFPB.
CFPB.
Yep, and it's the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau.
We're on your side, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau in the U.S. a government agency that makes sure banks, lenders, and other financial companies treat you fairly. That's what they say.
Is that the first thing on there? That's pretty funny, huh?
That's pretty funny. Protect yourself financially from coronavirus. From corona? How do you explain to me that? How you protect yourself financially from a virus? What does that even mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
The CFPB
Like I don't.
is committed to providing consumers with up-to-date information. Protect their finances and manage them. Wow.
And are you still on my website? If you go to the posts, the blog, you just click on blogs.
Blogs. Okay. All posts.
You just click on all posts,
Okay.
and then scroll down and you just click where it says Payday Loans.
Payday Loans, episode 11. Pick that one.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And I always like to do these just like as a summary. But that's basically everything I cover there. If you scroll like almost to the bottom, there's where it's titled the CFPB COVID response. That's just like a little bit of what I already mentioned as well. And above that, it's just my like overall history of the CFPB.
All right. Are you on it, or do you want to read
Yeah.
this? Go ahead.
Yeah. Which part do you want me to read? Like what it is, or
the CFPB COVID response?
Yeah, okay. So I'll just read off verbatim. So in there, I just state that all the CFPB did, like I mentioned before, was they only created like websites and blogs, which was in turn it was just material for us to read and how to avoid potential scams related to the virus and debt collection activities, which is fine. But all these efforts, in my opinion, they've fallen short. There were millions of workers even now unemployed and millions of families struggling to pay their mortgage and rent. The borough, they need to take a leadership role in shielding consumers from as much economic harm as possible instead of just giving us some reading material in which those that actually need it might not even be able to access it because they don't have enough to pay for their internet bill, right? This stuff is only online. And the consumer advocates and others, they expected the borough to become more aggressive with President-elect Joe Biden in office now, who pledged to hold financial institutions accountable. So we're yet to see that, but we'll see what happens.
Damn. Consumer advocates and others expect the bureau to become more aggressive. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just making blogs, and they didn't hire anybody to help settle the problem. They hired media people and consumers to create websites to tell you what the problem is, but not really give you a clear definition on how to fix it.
And you know what? They probably did that just to be like, hey, well, we made you aware of it, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, insane.
Yeah, it's like we're letting you know we're fucking you, but we're still fucking you. I mean,
That's right.
Yeah.
The Mindbuzz Podcast.